Hello Multiverse, welcome to Omniverse Gamers. My name is Damian Bazzaio. This video is going to talk about ability score generation and the different ways you can do that and the pros and cons of each one. Now, I run most of my games. I do a modified point buy that I run. I usually give 80 point buy 1-to-1, which allows for any kind of build possible, and everyone starts fairly. That's just me, but there are a whole bunch of other ways, and there's not a wrong way to do it. There's different things you have to think about deciding how to do it. Now, the three main options are obviously the first one is rolling your stats like standard, which is an old school way. Now it's kind of nerfed where it used to be really difficult, but now you just kind of roll stats and move the numbers. Then there's which standard point buy in the PHB, which is you have a certain amount of points, and each higher number you purchase costs a little bit more points, so it's harder to get a higher score with a standard point buy. And then there's some custom point buys that people do that kind of alter that, and they can allow you to have higher scores. Then there's the method called the array, where the DM either everyone will roll it, or the DM will just give you 6 numbers or a couple sets of numbers called an array, and you get to take those numbers and make your character based off that. That's just another method that and there's probably other methods that I just those are the main 3 methods to generate your strength, dexterity, intelligence, charisma, wisdom, all that jazz. So rolling dice is a favorite of many. It's like the old school way to do it. Nowadays, the standard way, I believe, is roll 4d6, drop one of those dice, and then that's your number, which is, it's okay. It's fairly forgiving, but the thing with rolling dice is some of your players are going to roll really well, some of them are not. So your game's instantly starting out unbalanced. Some people don't care. In older editions, you didn't even get to see people's sheets. You didn't know what other people were playing. You learned that in-game, and nobody would see your sheet. We used to show up to second edition games with our sheets, and nobody knew our class or anything. We played our characters. What I had on my sheet was not any of your business. Nowadays, it's 5th edition. It's all technology. It's all open. It's all online. Everybody needs. You're gonna shout out your numbers to each other way more than in the old days. So it's one of those things where somebody will be like, well, why is he rolling a +7 every time and I only am rolling a +4? Those are the things that rolling stats can lead to. Now, some people are going to get really good stats. Some people are not. And then there's the factor of, if you're not rolling it in front of the DM, is it really happening? Like, if you roll it from the DM, that's your one shot. That's your guy. It's, that's a little mini fun in itself. But also, that little mini fun is done once you start playing. Those stats are going to be your stats. You don't care about how you generated them. Those are the stats that you have for your player. So it can lead to some imbalance and some issues down the road. Some DMs don't care about that. They don't, they're going to murder your character before too long. So that's just the way you did it. In the old days, originally you would roll 3d6. That was your strength. That first roll you rolled, that number was your strength. The second number you rolled was your dex. So the old school fun of rolling a character was you didn't know what character you could build until you got those numbers. Those numbers would come out, and if you had a 13 in wisdom, that you were going to be a cleric. If you had an 18 in strength, you were like, whoa. Then it was a whole big thing that led you had to be a fighter. You could not be anything else other with 18 strength other than a fighter in the old days, because that was just you were a moron if you didn't use that 18 basically. So it was just that was just the way it used to work. So rolling can lead to a lot of swingy results, a lot of imbalance, but it's 5th edition's kind of balanced across the way. It doesn't you can always fix that with magic items later in your game. Then, like I said, there's the array system where the DM just gives you numbers and you just use those numbers, and those are the ones that you can do. Now, the benefits of an array is it's completely fair. Everyone's going to have the same bunch of numbers that they can use to make their characters. Now, they're not going to be able to make as optimal characters as they'd like because the numbers are already preset for them. They can't switch that. I mean, they might want 2 14s and not a 12 and a 16. That's just, depending on the character they're creating, that's just the way that's going to go. But still, they're all starting with an even thing. Now, the benefit of that also is the DM controls it. You're controlling their max score. You're controlling their weakest score. So there's a lot. It's a lot easier to balance an array when you're making your stats for your encounters. You know the array you gave them. You know the plus bonuses and minus bonuses they all have because you gave it to them. So you're balancing it right from the start if you use an array. And then there's what's called the point buy system, which in the standard PHB point buy system, you don't end up with very good scores, but you don't end up with bad scores. The point buy is fair because everyone's using the same system, but you're not going to get high-end scores. So that's why some people, they like rolling better because I'm going to get the way higher scores if I roll. I might get better, but you also might get worse. So it's, whereas point buy is going to be flat equally. But you're not going to really going to have a stat over 15 before ratio without you literally can't get your stat above 15 pre-ratio. So the highest number you're going to have to start the game is a 17, which in older editions was a huge problem because you did not gain any ability. Your ability stats did not rise in older editions. Whereas now 5th edition, every 4th level, you can raise your ABIs, raise your stuff up. That's a new concept in 5th edition that older DMs still. I even myself, I gave really high numbers when I started 5th edition. I'm used to really. I want to DM for heroes, so my system is for. I'll explain my system after, but. So when I went to 5th edition, I was just giving out wild ability scores, and I didn't realize. I realized, but I didn't think about the fact that they're going to go up. So now that I know that, after years of experience with 5th edition, I start at a little more moderate level, but I also give out free feats. I'm crazy. So what I do, my method is, I prefer even balance. I like my players to start out evenly, and I like to DM for heroes. Like we're collaborative storytelling, so if you're reading a book, you're not reading a book about the mill worker with a +1. You're reading the book about the hero. He may not start as the hero. He grows. He may be weak and he starts to. But by the middle of the story, this guy has skills and powers. He may not understand them, but he has things that he can do that are special. I like to have characters that do things that are special, so we can make crazy, amazingly epic stories. That's what I'm going for. Even our littlest, tiniest encounters, I want to build into epic stories eventually. I want my players to be heroes, basically, in the story. What I give them is an 80 point buy system, 1-to-1. So they have 80 points to spend on all their stats combined. So at the end, before you pick your race, all of your stats combined will equal 80 points. Now this allows you to get to an 18. You can't go over 18 this way. You have to use your race. But with your race, everyone's going to have a 20 probably. Most of my players are going to have a 20 in their main stat. And you're like, oh, that's making it easy for them. Yeah, no, it's not. Because I'm giving them awesome characters that they're going to be epic heroes, but I'm going to send epic things at them. So they're going to, I don't worry about sending insane things at my players because they have really powerful characters right from the start. They have heroes, and I'm coming for them. So it's not easy mode. It's you get the exact build you want. You're telling me the character you want. You get to build that exact thing. I'm even going to actually enhance you with magic items that enhance your story, enhance your techniques. That's what I want from. That's what I'm going to give you as a tool, as your character. It's going to have all this. I want you to be Iron Man. I want you to be Thor. I want you to be Aragorn. Maybe not Aragorn, but I want you to work up to the point where you are Aragorn, basically. This way, I can send crazy stuff at them. I can whip the terrain out from underneath. I can do combats that are insane. But I know they're pretty strong. They're heroes. In some of my games, I've even given games where I start with 84. Those are my Avenger style heroes. You guys are gonna fight gods and stuff. If you're at 84 to start at say 4th level, and you get that's a high. But usually 80. Basically, a standard point buy array will get you anywhere from 69 to 77 total score, depending on how you disperse it. If you have a bunch of 12s, you're going to get a bunch higher. If you go for that 15, you're going to be down to maybe in the 70, low 70, 69, 70 range for your total. So this 80 it's a little bit higher than that, depending on how the array, but you're going to get those higher end numbers. And I don't limit the low end. Like I tell them, you can have if you have anything under an 8, that's fine, but I am going to use that against you. I'm going to meet a game. And if you are a 6 strength, you're not going to be able to carry anything. If you're a 6 dex, boulders will roll at you. If your wisdom is 4, you're not going to be able to solve the puzzles. You're not going to be able to know. It's going to hurt. Like negatives hurt in my game. I make you. If you want one, that's fine. You're choosing it because it's not like you're rolling a negative and now I'm punishing you for it. You chose you wanted to have an 18 con and an 18 dex for your build, and you went wisdom 6. Well, that's fine, but you're not going to perceive. You're literally going to be in the trap on fire when you perceive that trap. Even though my scores are high, there's ways to make them matter. If they try to nerf this and meet a game, one guy tried to have a 4 strength because I forget what class he was. He wanted a 4 strength. I'm like, you're not even going to be able to carry anything. Like you can carry 30 pounds and your clothes weigh 5. So you have 25 pounds you can carry. So if you're carrying a staff and then you have some coins on you, you're done. Like you're encumbered just like that. I don't usually use encumbered. If you're gonna have a 4 in strength, encumbrance is gonna affect you. If you have a 10 in strength and you're not trying to carry 9,000 pounds, it's like whatever. When you have to deal with it, you deal with it. But then So as you can see, the 3 different ways to generate your abilities have different. They definitely have an effect on the kind of game you're gonna run. Like I said, rolling dice, you get kind of swingy. Some of your characters will have really good rolls. Some of them will be really bad rolls. I don't like Drace generation because I like to be even at start. Even as a player, I don't mind rolling because I don't mind having terrible stats. I'll play a 1-arm kobold. I don't care. But also, when everybody else is rolling +10s and my 1-arm kobold's rolling a +3, I'm still having fun and I don't care because I'm that kind of player. But there's other kind of players that are like, why are they so much powerful than me? What just because they rolled dice at the beginning in session 0, they rolled dice, and now for the next 3 years, that character is going to be more powerful than the other characters in the game. that leaves a stale. I don't like that. I don't like that system. That's adversarial to me, and I like the cooperative. So like I said, you have the standard point buy, which gives you pretty low numbers. You're pretty average adventurers, which is fine for newbies. You don't, you want to kind of know the pluses and minuses, but I like to get into the meat and potatoes. I like to have epic adventures. So I don't want like scrubs. I will kill your scrub if you're gonna roll standard array and come into my game. I'm gonna have to adjust down for you, and I don't want to do that. I want to pull you up, make you have the character you dream of. You have that character. You have the weapon you want. You have everything you want in your character that you think you need to survive. And I'm going to challenge that premise. I'm coming at you. That's my system. And like I said, you could do the array system. If you don't like the point buy, you think they're going to nerf that, give an array. Okay, you have 118, you have a bunch of 14s, you have a couple 10s, you have an 8. You can as a DM, you can control the levels that they're going to be able to do. But that problem with that is some people want a multi-class, and they might not be able to, you know what I mean? You might have to talk to your players about doing an array first. So yeah, there's rolling dice, kind of unfair, kind of a favorite. People like it. It's like a mini game in itself. I like the older ways. There's a lot of different nicer ways to go. We'll roll this, we'll roll that. Then the other thing about rolling is if you're allowed to just roll 100 times, I could sit there. Like that was the old days. Remember, like I explained before, we rolled the 3 dice. That was your character. You were allowed to do that. If the DM was sitting there, you could do that 17 times. I'd have 30 different numbers I'd roll. 30 different sets of numbers you'd roll, and then I'm going to get that one. So at a certain point, it's like, why waste an hour rolling dice, or like a whole night rolling dice, when you could just, here's an array, go. Or here's a point buy, go. But, but you as the DM get to pick that. It's to what you want. So it's a matter of balance, matter of fun, a matter of not caring about balance. You want everybody to have a different power level, that's fine. So yeah, that was just a quick video on ability score generation. A lot of new players are playing, and a lot of new DMs are on Roll20, and they're wanting to know how and what ways to do this. So just some video, something I just saw. I just figured to make a video on it really quick to help people out and help them understand the differences and what the benefits and the pros and cons of each one. So we are Omniverse Gamers. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Hope to see you soon, and keep on gaming.